In a big move indicating that the auto sector is slowly getting back to restarting, Hyundai India, the second largest car manufacturer in the country, today rolled out 200 cars on the first day of production post the lockdown. In fact, the lockdown is on even during this lockdown period. They've done so while ensuring social distancing at their plant in Tamil Nadu, but the sector remains in deep trouble with demand plummeting even before the lockdown commenced. Joining me now to look at the road ahead for the sector and for Hyundai, Tarun Garg, the Director Sales and Marketing of Hyundai Motors India. Thanks, Tarun, very much for being with us. What are Hyundai's plans in restarting full-scale car production?
Thank you, Vishnu. Hyundai Motor India understands that we have to play an important role in, bringing the economy back on track. And I think towards that, we had started preparations for starting production of vehicles. Of course, we had taken all permissions from, the state government for that. And so yesterday, we were very happy to announce that 200 vehicles have rolled out. We believe it's a very, humble beginning, but I think a very important one towards normalcy. So going forward, we see that, slowly we want to ramp up the production and then take it from there.
Can you sustain car manufacturing despite shifting red and containment zones, which may impact your component manufacturers? So you may be ready, your plant may be ready, but components come from an ecosystem, sometimes across the country. So a red zone can happen over there, containment zone can be built, and then all of a sudden you have to stop. Is that not a possibility or a concern?
Yes, over the last few days, like I said, we have been preparing a very detailed strategy. We have been in touch with all our vendors, and I think we have got a good support from the government. So all the respective vendors, from their respective state governments, they have been taking permission, and that's how we have been able to start the production. Yes, you are right. Going forward, we need the entire ecosystem to work, and we're just hoping that as we have made this beginning, the system will work, and this containment zone problem will not come. So as of now, everything is okay, and all our vendors are on track, and we have been able to produce. And we have to see how things go forward.
In terms of what the government can do, you just mentioned that you're in talks with the government. But there's not just one thing that the government can do to revive this sector. This sector fuels 7% of our GDP growth. So what are some of the steps, more than one, which the government can do for the sector to revive demand?
Yes, I think that's very important, and of course, automobile contributes 49% to the manufacturing GDP. So we fully understand that, and we hope that government also understands that this is very, very important. I think first and foremost thing is that an immediate reduction in GST, which we believe can really spur up demand. Because in the past also what we have seen, whether it was the Lehman crisis of 2008, it was the reduction in tax which could really spur up the demand. So that is one. The second thing is, of course, finance plays a very, very important role, in the growth of the automobile business. So while RBI has taken so many steps towards improving the liquidity, but I believe the important thing is that the lending has to happen. So in that respect, I believe the banks have to be really nudged to really lend liberally to the automobile sector, whether it is the vendors and the dealers, so that the wheels can start again and we can come back to normalcy. And of course, the scrappage policy, which I believe there's a lot of talk about, I think that can also become a very, very critical part of spurring up the demand, as well as improving the overall environment situation in the country. Yeah. So I believe these are some of the things which probably can be done immediately to really bring the system back on track.
Yeah, demand was down even before COVID started to a real low over the last few years. And now this COVID crisis has happened. It's affected the entire world. But going forward, as you project for the future and for future growth, every car company's growth is based on new models, new technology, a new incentive to people to buy their vehicles. How will COVID impact the rollout of your new models?
So I can just tell about Hyundai. I think we have been very active as far as introduction of new models is concerned. I think even 2019 was quite a challenging year for the Indian auto industry. However, we were able to sail through because we launched some very exciting 4 new models. Even in 2020, as we see, we launched, Aura, we launched the new Creta, and now we have launched the new Varna as well. So I believe new models are a very important part of the overall strategy of any OEM. Because the whole idea is how to really engage the customers, how to really bring the excitement in the market, and I think new models always do that. And as far as Hyundai is concerned, I think we will continue to bring more and more exciting new models to India. Regarding COVID, yes, the investment, as far as the investments in the new models is concerned, they have already been made, so they don't really get disturbed too much in terms of the launch plans. So we are very much on track, and we strongly believe that this will be one way to really keep on exciting the customers and spur them to really come to the showrooms and buy cars.
Sure.